Let's get started. One of the big problems with the historical Catan boards, the fixed boards, is that any Catan board, any board, is going to have certain optimal locations, and it probably is going to develop a book as to, which player whether you're in a certain position, what you want to set up. So the setups actually are probably going to become very, very standard. Now, let me look. Here, I've got the very nice 6-10-4. Now, that's far from Jerusalem, and I don't know how much that's going to matter. Almost as good. We got like 6-5-3, 6-5-11 looks kind of nice. Not quite so good here around the 8. Around this 6. There's a 6-5-12, but 12's not that good. That not terrible. Somewhere here like 8-4-10 might be okay. But anyway, what I'm going to do, because I don't know no better, so I'm going to place this here, and I'm going to put my road coming down this way because it has this. Now, what I was saying about the fixed board situation, it's no big deal that there are optimal plays on a Catan board because it gets randomized every time. But with the historical boards that are fixed, like I said, a book can develop along them. If you're playing that same board a significant number of times, the game starts playing the same each time. How big a deal is that? I don't know. How many times are you going to play a given historical Catan board? Anyway, that's my choice for what is the best. Now, you start out with materials as well, correct? I think I missed something. Now, you pick one settlement and you get the materials from that after you've made both your plays, which can be a very important facet in the design. Okay, well, with that 6-10 gone, there is another nice space here that uses that same location. Is it your second space? No, you get to select either location. It just tends to be the second space. By playing here, I do something interesting, which is that I make this an unplayable position. What if I play here instead? 11 and 3 are equivalent. Of course, ore is not as important as clay. But I can do that and cut him off right away. I'm in favor of being a dick. Alright, things are getting crowded up there. There's no question of that. I liked how this one plays out. And a little chunk down there. Now blue gets to play 2. Blue's 2. Alright, it's time to start thinking about what I need to build settlements and roads and such now. If we look over here, and this is common stuff to people who play Catan, roads are going to be bricks and wood. They're very important, but I also want to have grain and sheep in play. I can get to the cities later, right? I start off with stuff that can get cities. Nobody's really aiming for that yet. This is not a good combination, although I have grain and ore, so it's not terrible. I'm not a great Catan player by any means, which is probably evident. I kind of like this space, although I don't like its prospects for growth at all. This one and this one are appealing. Clay is important. Let's build that. We're not going to immediately go towards building stuff there. You know, I'm actually very tempted. I like sheep. Oh boy, do I like sheep. Now there's good sheep up there, and I could work together. I could work to try to transit that long distance. But this narrow confine where I'm not hitting 3 hexes in one place, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. One thing I don't like about this as well is that I have to move down to a shitty location there to get my settlement. And I'm going to be a settlement person. What about here? Is this better? Maybe. Why don't we do... Do I want to connect my road? Not terribly. Go down that way. All right. Now we go back to orange. Now, orange is looking and saying, there's kind of nice stuff in here. This is shitty though. Kind of nice stuff down here. Not optimal, but whatever it is. Red. I don't have any clay, but I have this, which is almost clay. And white got kind of boned by red. I may not have a route down to Jerusalem, and I may have trouble getting everywhere. So I'm going to put like that. Now, each player selects a settlement and what they want to get, and I'm going to start with this. Clearly I want this settlement, right? So these are going to be face down, but I may keep them face up for ease. So I get a red, I get a yellow, and what do I want to go with that? Yeah, hard call. See, because I produce everything, basically. Red, yellow, sheep, wood. The only thing I don't produce is ore. And ore is... it's potentially valuable, but I don't know how valuable. I think wood is going to be my hardest to get. I'm going to keep those face up just so that I can deal with trading and talking a little easier. And then the few times that I have to randomize. Here's the thing, though. Other players don't know what you have, which can be important in a few cases, like, hey, can I beat you, in this. Everybody's at 2 victory points. That is 1 point per settlement. Nothing else is present. What does red want? Well, this isn't going to fire very often. I think what I'm going to take is wood, ore, and clay over there. Orange. Definitely this is the better early play. And now blue. I guess here. Sheep. I got no green, man. Alrighty. I haven't played Catan solo in a long time. Obviously not in video. So we start over with the white player. I gotta check my time because I got somebody coming in about an hour. Okay. Don't get your hopes up too much. I got a tree that's overhanging the street, and the tree trimmers, who I've already got a relationship with, were easy to deal with. It's the people I don't have a relationship with, like the carpenter that I need to fix the stuff so I can get shit out of this room into my storage room. Okay. So first thing I do is I roll my dice. I do not like the wooden dice. They're common to Catan. They're just not pleasant for me. I get a 3. Alright. There's a 3. Nobody's on it. Looking. Blue gets a couple of clay. That's nice. I think that's the only 3 that produces. Okay. So what does white have? White has the capacity to build themselves a road. We kind of need to build a road. We're in shitty territory, though. We're in really shitty territory. I'm going to build this road space, because that'll let me build a settlement, and I'm done. That puts me to the red player. You know, I mean, hey, somebody want a grain for something? Yeah, I'll wait until I can build something. And 11, we're getting... This is one of the things, these dice, the wooden dice, they tend to be unbalanced, and they tend to roll weird rolls quite often. Might be part of the design. Okay, those 11s are clear. This one, orange gets a ore. I think that's the only 11s we got firing off. Okay. And what does red want to do? Red also has the capacity to build a road. I think building a road is a good move early on. Let's get that. Try to hit this twice. Seems like a good move. We go over to orange. 8. Two wood for red. Nice. Okay. Orange does not have... Oh, no, we do have the capacity to build a road. All right. So where would we want our road if that's the case? This is the location we kind of want to race to. But we could build there. One of the things that maybe I don't get is the take a chance to try to get somewhere, and if you lose that race, well, you end up in a much worse situation. So here I'm racing with blue to get this. I may kind of like red's position off on their own here. How much can you control that, though? And we're getting large piles of cards, 4, 5, 6. Remember, you go over 7, there's a potential problem. That was a roll of a 12. There can't be a lot of 12s on the board. I don't think anybody's set up on them. There's only one. Try right. Okay. And a whole bunch of clay. I could trade that in for something if I so desired. I could race for this and that's kind of what I'm set up for, but I'm also set up to go down here. That would get me a lot on that clay. I'm not going to, well, I am going to produce a lot of clay. What do I need? I need grain is the problem. But this is not going to get me a lot of grain. So I'd want to go towards the shore, and I'm going to count on being able to build my grain through trade instead. Where's Clayport? That's way up here. All right, we passed the dice. We checked the time. Almost no time has passed, but my battery is dying. This camera sucks energy. Moving over back around for the second time around. Now, I always kind of like the beginning of Catan. Later in the game, it starts just depressing because I'm losing. 7. Okay, something terrible happens. First of all, if anybody had a lot of cards, they'd lose some. I get to place this. Now, this is a great place, but I don't want to put it there. Who do I feel is doing well and or wants to hurt? So this is a good place because it hits 2 people, as well as being an interesting location. It's not a very rich place. My main opponent is here. I'd like to slow him down. And I get to choose a card from his hand. He shuffles his hand, and I'm just going to roll a die for what I get. I get his iron. Okay. Well, what does that do for me? I need to get wood and clay. I don't see any easy way to get them. I'm not going to be able to trade to get both off of an ore, so I just pass it. I know better, right? All right, on to red. Now, red's kind of boned. They're sitting here with one of their spaces eaten up, like their most important space. So they would like to get a 7. They may want to buy cards if they can get the capacity for it, in order to try to move that thing. Or it may move on its own. 9s. There's got to be some 9s that people are on. I get a sheep. Sheep over here. I think that's it. All right. I am not going to be able to trade a wood for a clay and a grain. I'm assuming. I can ask. Nobody's going to do it. So we move over. 10s. So wood for white over here. Choice for red and white. Hold off on that. Let me make sure. Orange gets a wood. Okay. I don't really like this choice. It makes the game hard. So red is short a clay from being, or white is short a clay from being able to build something. I want to build something, so I'll put that here. Red does not produce clay, and so I will take a clay as well. Okay. Back over here, what does he have? He has a desire for grain if he can get it. I doubt that I can. Maybe if I offered a whole bunch of stuff, I could get it. I don't really want to build a road because I want to build this location. So I'll pass. $11. Don't think anybody's sitting on any 11s. Always a hard part of the game, finding things. Not so much early in the game. Oh, no, there's one. Clay and sheep. That's not going to do me much good. I can't trade 4 for 1. I don't have that many. I really need grain badly. And again, the only person sitting on grain doesn't produce all that much. I'm sorry, the only people sitting on it. The only person with a grain doesn't produce all that much. So that's going to be hard sell. Another round. You roll 5s. There's got to be plenty of 5s out there. Orange gets green. That's going to change dynamics a little bit. Blue gets... All right. I think that's it. I got stuff to build a town. That's what we do. One of this, one of that, one of this, one of that. We build it there. We get a victory point. Now, one of the big questions often in a Catan game, usually you do build villages. It spreads you out, it gets you roads there, it gets you control of more territories, etc. It is also possible to optimize yourself to build cities. I don't see anybody who's clearly in such a position in this game. It could happen though. I don't know how much this is going to affect things. But yeah, for cities you need 3 iron, 3 ore, and 2 grain. And what you'll notice is on this board, neither of those are very common. So cities are going to be a rarity on this particular board, in a way that like your general Catan doesn't necessarily do, and maybe most of the historicals don't, because grain at least should be fairly common. There's a lot of grain on the board, a lot of spaces, so we'll see. But early on, it's not going to be very intriguing. You are going to be able to build cities eventually. It's just that building cities as an early option looks like it's a weaker choice in this game than you might expect. 7. Okay. Anybody got too many cards? 2, 4, 6. Okay, looks like we're okay. I get to move this. I'm pissed as hell at him. And I take his card. Now, did I want that card particularly? I don't know. Like, I could have targeted the guy I knew just produced a grain. But, yeah. I am pissed at him. And he's got a double city. I want to hit him. He is right in my territory, too. What does that mean I want to build? I have the capacity to build a road, but I'm close to being able to build a town. So I will hold off. I don't really need the development card anymore, which I couldn't buy anyway, but because I've moved the plague. 7. Okay. Orange is looking at, we have all the materials we need to build. So we don't need to go out of our way and steal from someone who is going to cause us, who is going to give us something good. Blue is our main competition down here. We find them particularly egregious. Question is, do we want to drop this here where we prevent them from stone, or do we want to put it where they can get 2 calls on a good call? I'll take the 2 calls on a good call. Since there's a fair number of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I get another iron. Well, I need to build my village. Just making sure nobody else has 3 villages other than white that I recorded things correctly. I feel like something's wrong. Put this here, getting the bonus 12 space. That gives me another victory point. And that gets the move up to blue. 6s. Only 2 6s on the board? That can't be right, can it? There's the third one. Okay. Now we have no way to get grain except by trading. That is a problem, right? Because neither does he. Does he? No, he's got this. Okay. So we really want grain. Unfortunately, there is no grain. And we're not hooked up to a trading port. So we have nothing other than the 4-to-1 option. I think we hold. Another possibility is to build roads, which might be good in the long run. Right now, this space, though, is appealing. So we're going to pass over. Hold on. 3s. Wow. Boink. That's it for 3s. Oh, I do not see much I'm able to do. So I'll pass the dice. Fives. There's got to be more 5s out there. This has got to be. The grain is so valuable right now in this game. And it's like so valuable you don't want to give it up. You know, I got a chance of getting sheep. What am I going to do? Trade a grain for 2 sheep? Maybe, you know. I produce grain better than anyone else does right now. Although white is not in a bad position. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. So what's he got? He's got capacity to build road. Building lots of roads. I'm looking for grain. Looking for grain in all the wrong places. He doesn't have a easy trade right now. Unless I'm getting something I really want. And I don't know what I'd really want. I have tons of metal. If I get another grain, I can build a city. I have other goods. Yeah, I don't think there's a trade open. And I'm handling the trading not through offer and whatnot, but rather, you know, trying to assess it internally more. An 8. 8 has got to be good. 2 wood for red. A sheep for white. Obligatory wood for sheep joke. See my homemade version of Settlers. It's a mini version. But it encompasses all the fun. All right. So what do I got? I need sheep. I need sheep not all that badly. I have wood and clay. I could build a road. Where would I want that road to go? I don't want it to go to nowhere. Grain is important in the game, just in general. So I am going to build a road heading this way, having determined that this direction is less important than it initially seemed. All right. A 4. It's 2 sheep for white. A grain for white. That's going to help. White doesn't have a lot of wood. Where else do we have 4s? A sheep down here. Something he needs. I think that covered them. We're over here. Blue. Blue absolutely needs grain. With the amount of clay that I can produce, I may trash compact if I can't get a grain some other way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer clay for grain, and nobody's really thrilled with that. I offer a couple of clay for grain, and nobody's really thrilled with that. Grain is just too damn valuable. Could I get 2 clay and a sheep for a grain? I don't think so. Wood is appealing and whatnot, but I produce a lot of clay. So I'm going to make a 4-for-1 trade, grab myself a grain, hope that nobody pirates me, and pass the dice. Clay is really good early in the game, but it may not hold out that well later. We got a 9 over here. Gotta have some 9s. No? That's a sheep over here. And a sheep over here. You'll notice the numbers kind of correspond to the type. That's not normal in Catan. That actually helps create some of these scarcities and whatnot. I need wood. Unfortunately, while wood's not as valuable as grain, I can't trade my grain away for wood. So, is there anybody really intrigued with the idea of getting multiple sheep for a wood? I'm real good at making sheep. I'm not so hot at making wood. Nobody's at Sheepport. Ooh, I'm not far from Sheepport, but I've denied it. My placement of these 2 villages makes it so Sheepport is impossible. It's got to be in one of these 2 places. Neither one can be gotten. Damn, that was dumb. Okay. That's okay. Production's more important than trade. So I say. I know other people probably think differently. So, what do I want? I want wood. I want wood badly. He's got a current shortage of clay, but not that much wood. I'm going to do a 4-for-1 trade. I don't see the trade open. I bet you one would happen with actual players. I need to swap batteries. But the thing is, I feel that's got more to do with the capacity of certain players to be able to convince people to give up what's actually in their best interests. And you got to be careful, because if you go over that 7 cards by like taking a pile of goods from someone, you could lose a bunch of cards when you take that half attrition. So there's reasons not to trade. Generally what I see is people who are more resistant to these offers of, basically the real problem here is there are certain commodities that have become kind of rare. This guy probably would have given wood But he's got so many damn cards that some more sheep that I don't need with my enemy just doesn't seem like a good deal. Okay, now we're back over here. And doesn't get a 7, that's real important because I got to be able to do something with these cards. A 9. So far, 10s are not coming up very often. I don't know how much they'd come up, but it's a sheep here. Good at building sheep. A sheep. Is that it? I think that's about it. Okay. And one of the things is, if the dice are unbalanced, you start to get used to that and you start to play towards that. Hey, 9s come up a lot? Great. These are important, you know. And that's goofy. That's goofy. All right, what's Red up to? Red would really like to build themselves a village. I do not have a source of grain. No one is willing to give up grain at this point. I do have a source of grain, but it's actually I have a couple of them. What the fuck? I should, but 10s aren't coming up. Wood is fairly common to me. That 4 for 1, if no one, assuming no one's trading grain, at least saves me a little danger. And speaking of which, we're there. Just at 7. It's got to be over 7 to be a problem. All right, where does Orange want to put this? Well, I want to put it on blue, man. Is there something that I need? I need wood. Who's been good at getting wood? I know he just dealt a fistful of wood away. I can't guarantee. Blue is as good as anyone else. I'm going to play on blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, I'm not aware of what they've got available. Sounds like I get a crappy sheep off them. But I get to keep a penalty on the person near me. Yeah, I need wood, and I don't have wood. But wood should be obtainable, right? Somebody just fucking threw 4 wood. But they wanted grain and nothing else. I had, like, grain. I could build a city. Yeah. I feel like I'm stuck unless somebody's able to produce lots of grain that I could give them the metal for. So we push on to the blue player. A 6. 2 reds. Danger, danger. A red for orange. Got that wood. That should be it. Okay, we're over here. I need clay. A wood for clay deal is probably available. But what am I going to give in addition in order to do it? That's a big question. I can give up an iron. So I'm going to offer a wood and an iron for a clay. Can't really do any better than that. This guy's got a lot of clay. Kind of wants wood. Isn't terribly upset with the idea. I'd say he'd probably take it. On a 6, he will not. And I lost a die. Okay, he's going to take that deal. And that's a wood and an iron for a clay. And that gives me a collection that I can build my village and get my victory points up. And someone's still at 1 At 2 victory points, aren't they? Poor Red. Red has not been able to build their second village because they haven't gotten any of their wood. We'll put the dice over here to remind me that's where we go. I've got like a half hour and batteries need charging. So I'll probably be back after my experience. So yeah, I'll leave it alone. Tree stuff taken care of. It turns out I'm going to save like 20 or 30 bucks after going through this household, which really wasn't worth it. I should have just let the city fucking take care of it and bill me. And getting a little bit more done, but yeah, they have a minimum 150 on it. All right, on to the white. And we didn't get a 7, which is probably important. 2 red. One over here for orange. And is that it for 6s? I think so. All right. Had a beer and then lunch, but a little fuzzy being away as well. So we got to figure out what we want to do. We have capacity to build a town, but we don't have the actual location, which means we want to build a road. Now, if I build a road here, I could build a town between these two and increase my sheep production. Damn me for not being connected to Sheepport. Yeah? Other options, there aren't any really good ones, so I'm going to go with that. Because I need to take advantage of this road, is the whole point, in order to build my town. And we're running out as we get up to 4 victory points. This is one of the things, the game kind of snowballs. If you start getting, if you start doing well, you start doing really well. Like, other people will fall behind. Because you're building up your production engine. And in most Euros, in most modern Euros, that's a matter almost entirely of skill. Whether or not you can construct this little engine so the person who understands the game the best just jumps in, starts building it up. And people who are learning the game kind of fall behind. There's a little bit of take that in this, so we can see, but it's not that powerful. Fives. I don't see any 5s up there. The ever valuable grain. That's this. There's got to be more 5s. I got one there. I didn't get this one. Hunting the location's always an issue. Alright, I would love to get some wood. But I can't afford to pay a grain for it. There's someone who does not have grain, has a lot of cards. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or they do have grain. So they don't need grain. They have wood. Would red be able to give them something that's valuable to them? Well, here's the problem. Orange does produce good grain compared to most players. But I'm set up so I can build a city. You got to convince me pretty well that I want to give things up. I got the possibility to grab a card. I never really like those. I know other people do. That would eat up one of my grain. I can't afford that. So I think I am going to pass because I don't see anyone who's willing to give me wood. Blue, they have wood. If I offered them enough stuff, I mean, they don't have much else. So what could I offer them? I can't offer them the clay, which is what they kind of want, so they can build a road. I can offer them a bunch of sheep. They don't have a whole lot of sheep. How important is this to me? Can I give, well, 2 sheep for a wood? Will you take it? Will you take it? Sure. It does seem like a decent deal. Not a great one, but. And then we'll build this here. Clay, grain, sheep, wood, and look! We're up to 3 victory points. Gets us to orange. Orange gets an 11. Still no 10s, right? We start producing. I think that's it. All right. So, like I said, I could build lots of things. I could build a road and build another village. Or I could build a city. Now, citywide, I say grain is real important. And I'm going to do that. The other, I'm not so sure. Hold on. I like the position I'm in, but I could build a road here and a village here, and that gets me even, a road here and a village here, and that gets me even better grain production than upgrading the city, and better metal production. Clay's going out of use. I think we'll do that, actually. So I want it to go up here. Just trying to decide, is that better than the clay? But yeah. And then I spend a wood, a grain, a sheep, and a clay. Drop another village down. That gets me up to the 4 victory points. And yeah, I'm collecting up metal. I don't want to spend grain to get a card. It's just, I always, in Catan, I feel like the cards are so hard to actually purchase. Are they worth something? Yeah, they might be worth a victory point, but, or they might be something better. We actually have a 3 road. Is that longest? No, it has to be 5. Most priests is 3. Nobody's built anything yet. Nobody's gotten down there. We're focusing on other things, and somebody's got to build something here, and then maybe they'll start, they'll either collect up some victory points and a bonus, or they'll start getting and they'll start getting the possibility of people just saying, hey, let me hook up a road to you and start cranking supplies through you. But that puts us over to blue. And we get the magical 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Everybody's good. Blue wants this off of them. Orange is in the lead, and is there opposition here? I'm going to shut down Orange's grain. This may not be the wisest thing, but Orange is less likely to trade grain with me than anyone else. And kind of fuck them, man. Okay. And I get to trade a card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's not good. All right. Odd, even, low, high. Okay. So this is at +6 and is not a 1, so it doesn't... I could search for another die. We get another. Would have loved to take a grain from them. Blue is not in good shape. They grabbed those sheep for wood. They really should have held out for more. But, yeah, I basically got nothing. I'm just going to pass things on. I am going to light up again. I'm forgetting these. Okay, so there was 1, 2, let's call it 5 of these. I think that's about right that have been played. Those came out because of the 7s being rolled. Sadly, the counters are bigger than the spaces for them. Wider than the spaces for them. Or something. I think they're just a teeny bit wider. But yeah, those should be there because that is one of our end conditions, is Jerusalem getting built. And sure, nobody's doing anything about it, but... And now my pipe's going out again. Great. 6s. Okay, clay and metal. Well, clay is not really useful. But here's the problem. I don't know what I am going to get and what I'm not. I would like to garbage compact. There's no question of that. Do I need a road? Yeah. Wood isn't all that common for me. Yeah. So I will build a road somewhere. Ugh. Well, my life is not that good. Really wish I had sheep. That would have made things a lot easier. So, this road would be cut off. I wouldn't be able to counter for anything. Which means... I mean, I could grab Woodport. Work my way down that way. I think... Just trying to see what is worthwhile. I do not like the board situation I'm in anymore. I thought I was doing pretty well at one point, but that getting cut off by red really did hurt. Speaking of red, let's remember to place one of these. And where do we want to go? Well, red's main opposition right now is actually white, and I think sheep are more important to me than clay in terms of screwing white over. I get a draw. White doesn't have much, so I'll take a metal. We did place one of those. Probably not a great choice. I don't see a trade available at this point. Grain is just too valuable, man. And another 7. Hey, this game's going to just be over through famines. Wee. All right, what's our situation here? We have enough stuff to build a town, but we don't have anywhere to put a town. We have not enough stuff to build a road. Well, we couldn't build a road in town. We don't have enough for a city. We're close, and honestly, I'm willing to build roads. We're down to our last settlement, maybe. So I'm going to build a road here with the intention of starting to build Jerusalem, I guess. I don't know. 9. Don't know if I've seen 9s too often recently. Red gets a 9. That's a sheep. Stone there. These are getting to be a mess. Didn't get this sheep yet. Okay. Who are we on? Blue. Oh. So blue needs either grain or clay. Now, I produce clay pretty easily. I'm not going to get my hands on a grain, so I'm just going to pass it and hope for the best. Massive grain production. That thing got removed, eh? I think that's it. Well, there's a lot more grain available now, and maybe I can make some kind of deal, but my cards are gone. This game just is always frustrating in terms of the luck for me. Obviously, it's not so big a deal when I'm playing solo, but it still kind of flows in there where you can see what's the things you want just don't happen when you want them, and there are situations where trades are just hard to get arranged. This one. I think we got all the 6s. We're on red. Well, red would love two grain. Yeah, good luck with that shit. Oh, wow, and no 10s coming up ever. I mean, 10 is not that likely a number. I don't know. 4s haven't come up that much either. So, what do we got? We got a bunch of metal. There's no one who really is aching for metal. The one guy who has enough grain to deal with metal doesn't have the need for more metal. They're producing more than anyone else. So what? I think we just pass. And a shitty 7. This is the bad situation. I've got a bunch of cards. Just got that 7. That means I'm going to have to ditch. Of course, I won't be the only person who has to lose cards. The loss of cards happens before you draw. That's important. So I'm here with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have to lose, I think it's 5. Oh. There's specific actions and special actions. Half rounded down. Yeah, I have to drop 5 of these. There's a couple of things I can do, but I'm going to get rid of a metal. Oh my god, sheep. Sheep are not trivial for me to get. These I need though. 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought I was at 11. Oh, grain. Yeah, grain's real hard for me to get. For some reason, well, no, it's not that hard for me to get. For some reason, I have tons of grain. I don't have a lot of sheep. Let's, but I can trade the grain. I'm sure I can get at least 1 sheep for a grain. All right. Now I throw all this stuff, and I'm going to build myself a city. Where do I want the city? Well, this is these are my 2 best locations. They're my early locations. The importance of grain is so high at this point, and this also is where I've got a metal. I'm going to put this here. That bumps me up another victory point. I didn't handle him. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So I've got to lose 4 of his. But I had 11 here. Yeah, I did. Okay, 4 of his. And well, I definitely don't want to lose grain. Metal is low value. And I produce wood faster than sheep. So I'll get rid of those. And we will go to the last player, and then I'm going to probably load this up. 5. 3 grain. Now here's the problem. As I start getting too much grain, people begin to realize, yeah, it's worth a lot to all of us, but just because you have a monopoly on it, we're not really willing to pay you full value that it would be worth if you were only producing a few of them. You're producing so many, you're going to have to take a cut in price. We'll see. All right, I think that's the 5s. And I've got garbage. I'm probably willing to give a handful of stuff for a grain. I've got the capacity to build clay. I mean, stocking a grain sounds appealing. Sure, what do you want for grain? Two metal? Yeah. 2 metal buys a grain. This is sort of in the bank for the future, but I have such a hard time getting grain that I'm willing to trade that away. And it's not a great deal, but what else am I going to do? I'm unable to produce grain. I must buy it. A 2-for-1 trade is better than I'm going to get off the bank, at least. All right, we're going to send this one up and then come down a little later.